Here's a guy who
Hello.
needs no
My good friend, Damien Cox.
Hello, how are you, sir?
no
Good.
introduction at all. A couple of home runs the other night. Pretty good start to the season. Here's Jose Bautista. How you doing? Okay.
I'm doing okay if I can figure out this wire here.
Well,
All right.
We'll try and make it
Just roll
comfortable
with
for you.
Should we tell him what Lynn just said about him?
Go ahead.
Well, we were asking him who's the leader. He said Jose Bautista. And he said, so who's the guy who's going to speak up? And he says, well, we called a meeting last year, and Jose called it, but Mark DeRosa talked the whole time, and he said that you get in front of the team and then you get quiet. And that was interesting because you are, I think, perceived everywhere as a leader of the team. And I think Steven made the point about it's not football, that it's rah, rah, rah. So what can you say to a teammate or to a team in the middle of a season to make things better?
I mean, it all depends on what the situation is and which teammate you're talking to and what you're thinking about addressing. And I do get a little bit shy when I speak in front of my teammates. You know, it's a delicate situation. You don't want to point anybody out, and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Most importantly, you want the best for the team, so you pick your words carefully. So that's why I try not to put myself in front of the team in the first place. But I think more importantly, I try to be the type of leader that just leads by example, and people can just follow what I do in order to get prepared for the game and hopefully get great results consistently every single night. So if I can figure out a way to do that and keep my game consistent overall, hopefully that's enough for the young guys to kind of see and emulate.
I got to ask you about the Ervin Santana story, Jose. Obviously, it's come out in the last couple of days, the story about players being asked or volunteering to defer salary in order to sign Ervin Santana. From your point of view, from a player point of view, what was going on there?
Well, I'd rather not indulge in all the details right now. I haven't read the story that came out, so I don't know what has been said. And I think it's one of those delicate subjects where Alex, I wish he addressed it first, and then I'll comment after hearing out what he's got to say. I don't know how much he wants to divulge on that.
I was going to say we had him on. He told us everything, so you can just go ahead. But actually, that's not true.
Can't lie to you.
We did have him on, but he did his Alex thing. But
all right.
Let's put it this way: is Ervin Santana? There's a lot of guys know him in this team. Is he a guy that you wish was here tonight in a Blue Jay uniform?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's a quality Major League starter, and you want somebody that can go 5+ innings and give your team a chance to win. Hold runners, throw strikes. It's not about having a sub-2 ERA. As long as you can throw 6 innings consistently and keep us within reach, I think that's what you want every single night. And he's obviously a guy that did that for Kansas City last year, and he's done it in the past at Anaheim and also. And I guess the one thing that I can say about the whole situation is there's a lot of commitment here, not only from the ownership, from the management, but from the players as well, to try to win and try to win now. And I think that's what can come out of this story.
Did you talk to Ervin about his decision after he made it to go to Atlanta?
No. I talked to him prior to. We share the same agent, and
right.
I was aware of what was going on because of that. So, I mean, each person has to make their own decision at the end of the day, and I think he just chose to go somewhere where he felt he was going to be in a better position to succeed.
Obviously, you came to Toronto and it transformed your career. But when you talk to an Ervin Santana or other ball players, I mean, people seem to believe guys have to be convinced to come here. That Toronto is still seen as, okay, maybe it's my second choice or third choice. Do you perceive that when you talk to your fellow ball players?
You know, I don't perceive it, but from the results of negotiations with free agents, it sort of feels that way. But I'm not in the conversations with the, GMs and with the agents, so I can't really speak too much about that. Just from the outside looking in, it does seem like at times the team has to go to greater lengths to attract people more than other teams.
Did you find the offseason, well, you tell me, how did you look at the offseason when they weren't able to bring in a number of pitchers or a couple, or one pitcher? Were you disappointed? Did you say, well, that's just baseball? What was your perception of that?
Well, that being tabbed by everybody as our biggest weakness, our starting pitching, it was a bit disappointing, but when camp started and we saw the number of bodies and quality talent that we have, it's certainly a possibility for those guys to be successful and for us to enjoy a great winning year. it's just about execution and having those guys stay healthy, go out there and compete and have good results. That can be done with the guys we have here now or with free agents. So it all depends on how they pitch and how they play this year, and we'll see how it plays out.
I got to ask you about your spring a little bit, Jose, because you came in. Well, yeah, did you homer in your first at bat? I know it was the first game, but you've been locked in right from the beginning. You had there's a sense that it's obviously carried through over the early part of the season. What in your off-season prep? Did you kind of feel that coming? Did you feel like I'm showing up, ready to go, feeling good, healthy, all of those things? Because you looked as comfortable from game one as anybody in the camp.
Well, I know I put in a lot of hard work. I want to make sure I came in the best shape of my life after another nagging injury from an impact play. So I was ready to go. I was excited. I was just ready to start playing games. I was tired of sitting at home, and I think that helps a little bit when you come in a little bit hungrier than normal, and you start executing from day one. I wasn't trying to see the ball and get my timing down. I went straight into having good at-bats and hitting the ball hard, and I started having good results early, and I was able to carry that on through the spring and through the first couple of games here this year, and hopefully I can just ride that wave for as long as I can.
Not to backtrack too much, but I'm intrigued by the concept of you talking to free agents, players who might be interested in coming to the Toronto Blue Jays, whether they're very close friends of yours, represented by the same guy, somebody that you know. What do you tell them about Toronto?
Obviously all the positives. I'm trying to win, so I try to be a recruiter as much as I can, and I keep it honest, but I have nothing but great things to say about the city of Toronto and this organization. I've been treated like a king ever since I got here, so I can't complain at all. I just hope that everybody that's on this team and free agents that can come in the future get to experience everything that I've experienced. So I speak about the things that I've been through and how positive has been, and how open everybody was to receiving me here. My career changed dramatically just because of a change of perception of who I was, and another chance of just go out there and play to prove myself. So I got nothing but great things to say about Toronto, and I relay that onto everybody that I speak to.
So what do they come back to you with? Is there some common theme of why they may not want to come here? I mean, we think.
Is it just because it's Canada?
Is it just because it's Canada?
Oh, absolutely not. It's more of American League East, the competition.
That's what it's about.
The stadium, some pitchers, the ball flies.
Yeah.
Some hitters, actually, it's a positive, but then you have the turf. Some guys have some nagging injuries in their lower body or their back, and that plays into it.
Yeah.
Another thing is having families and having them travel across the border constantly and going through airports and exchanging currency and changing your phone plan.
So some of it is Canada.
So some of it is Canada, really.
But not necessarily because of the country. It could be Mexico. It could be France. So I wouldn't say it's because it's Canada. It's just because it's a different country.
Right.
Gotcha.
But sometimes those are little nagging things that are just extra things we got to deal with. But obviously, I'm not going to complain about them because I've enjoyed great success here.
Ball players talk about a lot of things, but I'm always fascinated because your career, as you said, changed so dramatically here in Toronto. Do you ever get guys come to you who are not significant players and say, "Can I change? How did you do it? How did your career? I think I'm better."
Yeah, I have those conversations with guys that feel like they have more to give, and guys that actually been successful for a long time. Just try to feed off of what I have to say on how I was able to retain the success, because I'm the first one that says, it's not that I didn't believe or didn't show that I was as good. It's just that I did it on short spurts. I was able to kind of hold it for a longer period of time, and I just speak about my experience here and how the hitting philosophy, being a better match for the type of hitter that I was with the team, go up there, get a fastball, rip it, and then the big change on getting ready on time and all that dramatically changed my approach at the plate. And then I was able to pinpoint and just dissect the pitchers and really swing at the pitches that I wanted to hit instead of just being up there battling for life every single pitch and every at bat.
What are you expecting from Tanaka tonight?
I'm expecting everything that I've heard. basically the only thing that I can
You
expect.
guys didn't see him in the spring, did you?
We didn't, but we heard he's featuring a low to mid 90s fastball with some run and a lot of splits and a little breaking ball that he uses from time to time. So,
Sounds nasty.
well, there's a lot of pitchers that are nasty. As long as you go out there and you execute your game plan, you should be successful. So it's on our shoulders, and there's no other way to go around that. So I'm just hoping to make sure that I'm disciplined up there, and I get to see the ball up and swing at strikes, and hopefully put up a good battle today.
It's got to be a little tricky though when there's no one in the room who's seen this guy, right? That's everybody else, almost everybody who's coming up, somebody had seen him somewhere if they played in the other league or if they're in the minors, but no one's really got a book on this guy.
Absolutely, but I mean the same can be said about 9 of us that are going to be. He's going to have to face us.
That's
so,
true.
He hasn't seen us. He doesn't know how to pitch to us. So hopefully we can exploit that part.
How'd you feel about the start, by the way? Two wins, 2 losses, a couple of good performances. You had a couple of home runs. I mean, how do you feel about the teams, in a place where you guys have all kinds of trouble all the time?
Well, I think except for the one crazy play we had on defense where we threw the ball around a little bit, we played outstanding defense, especially from our left side of our infield. And our pitching did outstanding for two straight games. The chemistry that I saw between Navarro and Burley and Hutchinson was unbelievable. The other 2 days, they came out and swung the bats a little better, and they hit a big home run yesterday, so they put the game away in that sense. We've been having good at-bats and making the pitchers battle and working deep into counts. We got deep into their bullpen in the first series, which is always good. We got to see every single guy that they have and all their pitches. So we can improve a little bit with the runners in scoring position and start driving in some of those runs. We left a lot of guys on base, but it's still early. We're still looking to make some adjustments, so hopefully we can execute better.
I've asked this question of executives, of broadcasters. I'm intrigued by, and former catchers, I'm intrigued by your response to this. Navarro, what could he mean to this team as in terms of difference between this year and last year?
He could truly be a difference maker, I think, because it's been documented. We didn't make any big additions on the pitching end, but the guys that we do have, if we can get them to perform to their max of their capabilities, and he's a big part of that, obviously that's going to be a night and day difference for results-wise for our club. So if he can just get on the same page with them like he did those 2 days and keep him as good as they can be, it's going to be a night and day difference.
A comfort level, I think, is what the pitching staff would like to have with the guy behind the plate, and I would assume defensively you feel some of that as well, don't you?
Yeah, when they're on the same page and the game's going quick and they're throwing strikes and there's not a lot of time wasted, the defense is always on their toes and you can make plays much better because you're more alert. When the game's taking forever, there's a lot of shaking and there's a lot of base runners, a lot of stepping off and picking off. When you're on defense, your mind can kind of drift away a little bit, and that can mean a split-second reaction on one ball that's hit in any particular direction, and that can be the difference between an out and a 2-run double. So it makes a huge difference. Good
start for you personally. Pretty good start for the team. I know you would have liked to win that series in Tampa, but a split's not bad as a start. Good luck the rest of the way. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Jose Bautista.